There are passion projects and there are passion projects. And this is the story of one British brand's passion project that goes all the way back to 1964 and the movie Goldfinger. Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. This seems like an appropriate place to stand for this story. It's all about Goldfinger, and it's all about something that we can all relate to, a passion project, something that gets in somebody's mind that they say, it's not out there, but I need to create it. We've seen a lot of these artistic aspects come to life, but this one comes from Mason and Son. And what happened? So Elliot Mason, who's the son of David Mason, if you don't know, he and I were chatting as we often do, and this was about the time that their camp shirts came out, and there was a pink one in there. I thought it was great. It was very Thunderballish. But he said, David, hold on a second. There's something that we're doing right now that might be right up your alley, and we'd love you to talk about it to all the James Bond fans out there. And that is the it's considered casual outfit from Goldfinger that you see Sean Connery wear. You saw some pictures in the opening of it. It's iconic. It's historic. It's indelible. When he's leaning against the DB5, he's looking down the precipice. You know this outfit very well. The barley corn jacket with the twill pants. It's very identifiable. He's got the suede shoes on. He's got the brown knit tie. He's got the crisp white shirt, the cuffs. Everything's going on. It is pure Connery. It is honestly an outfit outside of, I would say, the one from Goldfinger that he wears in Kentucky, that the three-piece one, that is probably one of the most indelible. It just screams Bond. And let's face it, when you saw Danielle Craig come off the train in Morocco as he's waiting for the Rolls Royce, come on, folks. I mean, that was definitely a connection, a drawback, which Janie said she was using a lot of the Sean Connery early era outfits as inspiration. This is one of them. So let's begin. First of all, we've got to talk about how this arrives. Now, this is the suitor bag. You can see it here in all its glory. What I loved about this is when I got this, and it was packed incredibly well. Remember, this is coming from the UK. It was like a Russian nesting doll. So there was the outer suitor bag, and then, I'm kidding you not, folks, there was the inner suitor bag. But underneath is where everything comes into bear. Now, I will tell you I cheated. I usually do the open boxing thing to get my first reaction, but I needed to make sure that this thing fit because we're going to be trying it on. But here it is. Now, this was covered in a wonderful, nice plastic. We're going to get up close, though, because we really want you to see this. This barley corn, which we're going to be talking about, this wonderful tweed hacking jacket, has unbelievable details, of which we're going to talk about all of them. By the way, the pants underneath it, you can already see it coming together. They're wonderfully attached here. I'm just showing you the hanger, and I'm just showing you how it comes, okay? Now, what was great was Elliot also sent me, and I'll bring this up close, a brown knit tie, because let's face it, it all needs to come together. So really, all I need to do is supply underwear, socks. I have a white shirt. It will be the wrong white shirt, so please forgive me. And a pair of suede chukkas, which I'm going to use the Church Riders. Why not? Still a Bond brand. But you know something? As much as it's appropriate to talk about this outfit, and I want to get into the details of this because the story is worth it. The details are worth it. You're going to love this one. I don't think this is the right thing to talk about it in front of. So I'm going to get changed, and I'm going to change the environment a little bit. Let's take a look. Okay, this just seemed like a more appropriate environment. I mean, most of the still shots that you see are Connery in front of his DB5. This is not a DB5, but it's my Vantage, so I think it's appropriate. So here we go. We have the outfit. First of all, I'll come in a little bit closer. You can see that I did put on the churches. They seemed appropriate. He wears suede chukkas. You've got the twill pants, which you can see kind of the color as it contrasts the barley corn. You've got the barley corn jacket. You've got the white shirt, which is the wrong white shirt, I warned you. And you've got this great brown knit tie. Now, let's talk about fit. This was made for me. In fact, why don't we take a look at the details of the inside of the jacket and you'll see just how much this was made for me. Before we go inside, I just wanted to show you little details that Mason & Sons do that I love. First of all, look at the tag. Hopefully we can get a decent view of that. There we go. So this is the hang tag that comes on the jacket and a similar one on the pants. You may notice little details like my name on there. Love that. I mean, it's so cool because it's not off the shelf. This jacket was made for me. So I love those details. Here are some of the things that you can see that, you may not have seen on the outside is the working buttons here. Yes, they all work. And then as we go inside, you can start to see some of the details. And again, everything is done perfectly. The stitching, the interior, we'll go over to this pocket. You can see that there is the conduit cut. We've got the pen holder. We've got the phone holder, obviously modernization, but take a look at just the details. And I know this is not something we typically look at, but this is tailored and sewn perfectly. I mean, I love that all of the details are here, but it's finished so beautifully. And we love those different aspects. Obviously, it's some of the things that we look for in the brands that we love. So you can see the details of the jacket, but let's quickly take a look at the details of the pants as well. The pants themselves hold an incredible amount of details. Again, you can see the stitching, how beautifully done, and the fabric. I mean, I hope you can appreciate, and we're picking up kind of the fabric, the wool that's here is just so wonderfully done. You can see the tabs on the side, beautiful. You really appreciate the details, the frog's mouth pockets. But take a look at this pocket, how it leans down into there. Love that detail. And of course, as we go inside, which we normally do, you can see all the different poppers and buttons and details in here. This is really to keep shape. We can put some suspenders on there, but you can see how everything is perfectly appreciated and done in here. The fabric itself, it says 100% linen, which is kind of interesting because we also have read that it's wool. And then just some of the details that we love to focus on. All right, we got the details out of the way. Now we're going to talk about fit. So again, this was made for me. It's about a 38 to 40 short, because I am relatively short. So you can see where it hits perfectly. We're going to show you the side. Now this is suppressed. Remember, it's the conduit cut. It is very suppressed. But it's got that modern look without it being too baggy. Connery's was a little bit baggier, but this is a slim fitted. It's got a lot of suppression here. I may actually have this taken out just a little bit. It's having a lot of suppression, maybe too much suppression, that it's feeling a little bit like a Tom Ford moment as opposed to an Anthony Sinclair Mason & Sons moment. So I'll have it taken out a little bit, but you can see the shoulders, and I've got big shoulders, really fit nicely. I've got good range of motion, and that's important for this jacket because this whole outfit is his casual outfit. Now I'm going to cheat. If you can come in a little bit, I want to read you a little bit about this because I do want you to have all the information about this outfit. First of all, you need to know that this was, as I mentioned to you, a passion project. Mason & Sons, they've commissioned a 180-year-old West Yorkshire mill to recreate this brown barley corn tweed. And this was the stuff that was worn by Sean Connery in Goldfinger. So Abraham Moon, they've been weaving cloth since 1837. They know what they're doing. For those of you that are historical majors, that was the year in which Queen Victoria ascended to the British throne. So we're talking a long time, okay? In addition to the tweed, the mill also produced this cavalry twill fabric, which obviously pairs with the outfit really well. In 1964, this barleycorn tweed hacking jacket with cavalry twill was Bond's out of the office look. Can you imagine? This is out of the office. Nowadays, this would look like you're dressed up for a pitch. So the combination has consequently been one of the most popular tailoring requests presented to Mason and Sons. So they said, well, do we give it the right look, or do we go full bore and give you that Goldfinger moment? So obviously, this has been almost as popular a request as the Prince of Wales check. So we know what we're talking about. Now, one thing I need to do is talk to you about the cut of this. This is called a hacking jacket. What is a hacking jacket? So a hacking jacket, it's a classic piece of traditional British clothing. It's been around for a long time, like the 17th century long time. It's designed to be worn on a hack. What's a hack? That is a leisurely, rather sporting horse ride. So if you can imagine you're sitting on a horse, you're galloping, or in an Aston Martin, you need to have really good movement. By the way, the name's derived from Hackney, which is an East London area that has a lot of carriage horses and pastures, absolutely beautiful, allegedly. In the earliest 20th century, horse-drawn transport was replaced by motorized vehicles, but London taxis continue to be known as the Hackney carriages today. So there's a lot of history of the usage of this. But this is a very practical styling, and I think that's why the stylist decided to go with this in Goldfinger. This was him casually looking around, sitting, getting up in his Aston Martin. So this has a very, very, let's talk about it, natural shoulder. The shoulder is a roped sleeve head, high armholes, allowing maximum freedom of movement. This suppressed waist, mine may be a little bit more suppressed than usual, avoids unnecessary interference around the body. But take a look at the skirt, all right? That's what it's called, folks. The skirt is flared, all right? And the flaring itself has a high vent. It accommodates the saddle. So when you're sitting down like this, the slanted outside pockets offer easier access when seated. So you see how the pockets are slanted. That's not just for fashion. That's when you're sitting on a horse or sitting in your car. It's actually easier to get to them. So we need to also talk about the cavalry twill trouser. So I'm going to open up for a second just so you can kind of see the details around here. The twill trousers, they're cut by Anthony Sinclair, obviously to complement this, but unlike the high-waisted pleated trousers that Connery Bond suits have, this model has a slimmer line with plain fronts and a frog mouth pocket. So the frog mouth pockets, which are again more easily accessed when seated, so you can kind of put your hand right in there and you can see how it's cut that we showed you in the detail. Now, let's talk about the informal screen wardrobe itself. This became, probably because it was practical, it was comfortable, this became a favorite of Sean Connery. Personal favorite, and a personal favorite of everybody on the set, to the point where they started to use it in other movies. So you do see it show up in other movies. Women of Straw with Gina Lola Brigida and other things. And in the Goldfinger Sing itself, it's matched with this brown knitted tie, a shirt with double cuffs. Don't look at my shirt, it does not have double cuffs. And also, interestingly enough, rose gold cufflinks. Now, Anthony Sinclair, Mason and Sons, they offer all of these different things. So interestingly enough, the cufflinks were put on wrong in the film. Okay, so overall thoughts. Well, I love this. And I have to tell you, I had very high expectations of this before it came. Now, when Elliot told me about this, I had to give him measurements basically over the internet. All right, it's a little difficult. So one of the things I thought was, okay, so are the pants going to be too baggy? They're not too baggy. Is the jacket going to be huge? Am I going to be swimming on it? Absolutely not. In fact, maybe I need to take it out a little bit. And I received this and it exceeded my expectation. And I think it exceeded theirs. Now, if you want to be measured, you can be measured in New York, you can be measured in the UK. David Mason finds himself at different places across the world. I suggest you get measured by them as opposed to using your own measurements or assumptions. You'll get an even better fit. But my gosh, I cannot wait. Today it's probably about 48 degrees. It's perfect for this. I'm super comfortable. I can't wait to wear this to many occasion and work, or simply just to take a ride. So I hope this was informal and informational, and maybe a little bit of both. I'm going to take a ride in this and really put it through its paces. But this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience, and you know what's going to happen. We're going to see you real soon. Take care. Oh, hey, you're still here. I didn't even know. You listen, while you're here, if you want, so I would actually go to this button right here and click on it, because then you actually subscribe to our vlogs. It's amazing. You get to see all the upcoming stuff first. You get notifications. It screams at you while you're at work. It's absolutely amazing. Just click on this button, hit subscribe. Just move your cursor, move.